In mathematics and arithmetic, there are addition, multiplication, division. What's the other one? Subtraction. Which one is more widespread, Korean, Thai or Hindi? Hindi. What is the opposite of artificial? Natural. What is the hardest part of your hand? Nails. How do we call that animals and plants preserved in the rocks? Fossil. What do you use to test the body temperature? Thermometer. If you want to read tragedies or comedies, what kind of book do you read? Fiction books. How many wheels does a bicycle have? 2-inch. What do we call the northernmost and southernmost parts of the earth? Pole. What is the music that is recorded for a movie or a film? Soundtrack. What do birds use to fly? Wings. What material are windows made of? Glass. Where do people go for watching sports or games? Stadium. When a person's blood alcohol level is higher than the standard range, what activity can't the person do? Driving. What is the room that is under the ground floor? Basement. What do we call a person who repairs cars? Auto technician. What is the place you share bedroom with your classmates? Dormitory. What do you call the government where the power is concentrated in the hands of one person? Autocracy. What do we call the legal document that states how people's property should be allocated after their deaths? Testament. In the solar system, which heavenly body produces sunshine? Sun. How do you call the doctor who treats sick animals? Vet. Tomorrow's lecture has been cancelled. If today is Tuesday, then on which day is the lecture cancelled? Wednesday. How many years are there in a bicentennial? 200. What subject involves the study of the periodic table? Chemistry. What do we call the ship that runs underwater? Submarine. Where do people go to watch plays? Theatre. What do we call the person who plays musical instruments as a job? Musician. How many sides are there in a pentagon? 5. What is the habitat of camels? Desert. What instrument would scientists use to examine very small life forms? Microscope. What force makes humans stay on the earth? Gravity. How do you call the movements that the babies move by using hands and legs? Crawling. What do you throw underwater to keep ships staying on rivers or oceans without drifting away? Anchor. What is the occupation that transfers one language to another language? Translator. Where can we find the page numbers of books? Footer. What is the musical instrument which has both pedals and strings? Harp. Apart from coffee and hot chocolate, what beverages also contain caffeine? Tea. What do we call the pen that receives its ink from its reservoir? Fountain pen. What is the act of jumping into the water? Diving. What is the thing used for sun protection in summer? Sunscreen. How do you call someone with no hair? Bald. What is the process where the color becomes lighter and lighter when exposed to sunlight for a long time? Fade. What do people hold overhead when it is raining? Umbrella. What thing do postgraduate students have that undergraduate students don't? Bachelor degree. Which century is the year 1642 in? 17th. If you have a toothache, who will you go to? Dentist. What is the long speech that is spoken by only one actor in a film or play? Monologue. What device is used to measure the height of mountains? Altimeter. What is the highest position in the embassy? Ambassador. What do we call famous people? Celebrity. What is the frozen type of water called? Ice. Jack is having a presentation on Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. When will Jack have his speech? Today, tomorrow or next week? Tomorrow. What do we call people who work on ship or plane? Crew. Whose job is making and repairing wooden objects and structures? Carpenter. What does submediterranean refer to? Climate. Which one in the 4 seasons has the lowest temperature? Winter. What do we call a person's move to a more important job or rank in a company? Promotion. Where is a criminal kept as punishment? Prison. What is the force that happens between the relative motion when objects are rubbed against each other? Friction. When trains or cars need to go through a mountain, where do they enter the mountain? Tunnel. How many quarters are there in a calendar year? 4. What is the nominal form of the wide? Width. What are the people who study ancient bones or plants in rocks? Paleontologists. What is a painting or photo of people, especially when it includes someone's face, head and shoulder? Portrait. What device do you use to measure your weight? Scale. What will you hear after a flash of lightning? Thunder. What do we call the subject that studies weather and temperature? Meteorology. In what room do scientists usually do experiments? Laboratory. What clothing do people wear, such as students or nurses, to show that they belong to the same organizations? Uniform. What is the line where the sky meets the land? Horizon. What gas will be generated from the boiling water? Water vapor. If an event happens annually, how often does it happen? Once a year. What do you call the persons who study religions? Theologians. What do you call the buildings of a university or college and the land around them? Campus. What does subterranean mean? Underground. What do you call the people who work on boats? Sailor. How often is a centennial celebrated? 100 years. What is fake money called? Counterfeit money. What vehicle runs on railways? Train. What do you call a word formed from the first letters of other words? Acronym. Which part of our body does a gastroscope look into? Stomach. What is the act of reusing waste materials? Recycling. If someone tells something funny to you, what is your reaction? Laugh. What do we call the treatment in which people use needles to ease others' pain? Acupuncture. What do we use to launch a space shuttle? Rocket. What is the opposite direction of sunrise? West. What can bring astronauts to space? Spacecraft. What do humans and animals need to inhale for survival? Air. How do you describe a line that segments a circle? Chord. What organ on your face do you breathe with? Nose. How many years are there in a century? 100 inch. What is the term used to describe a period of 7 days? Week. What is the heading at the top of an article or page in a newspaper or magazine? Headline. What do you call a list in a book which outlines the structure of the book? Table of contents. What do you call a statue or a building that is dedicated in memory of someone? Monument. What kind of soup utensils do you use at table? Spoon. What is the name of the liquid in the pen? Ink. What do people usually use to cut food in the plate? Knife. What is the study of religion called? Theology. What do you call a person who lives next to your house? Neighbor. What do we call a child who will soon be a teenager? Preteen. In sport, what do we call the cloths that we wear and end above the knee? Shorts. Where are goods stored before sale? Warehouse. What do we call the selling and transporting of goods to another country? Export. What is the second month of the year? February. We call a person used to using the right hand a right-hander, and what do we call a person if the left hand? Left-hander. What do we call a long, metal stick a player uses to hit the ball in golf? Club. What do we call 3 children born at the same time to the same mother? Triplets. What do we call a car that needs to be charged? Electric car. What do you call a picture or design permanently on your skin made with a needle and ink? Tattoo. What do we call people who help others get insurance? Insurance agents. What is the star that gives heat and light to the earth? Sun. What is the storyline or the series of scenes of novels, movies, short stories or plays? Plot.